Right. The seventh game is Hinterlands, which I vetoed for no strategic reason, pure chance. Anyways, the board has IGG on it and no trash in, right? So that is something to think about. Can you go for just IGGs and win the game, or have a shot at winning the game? I don't think so, because Haggler into Border Village builds too fast. If you go Spice Merchant Silver, or yeah, or Spice Merchant Oasis, Oasis Silver, get the Spice Merchant. Don't forget not buying Spice Merchant. If you go Spice Merchant Silver, you could get Haggler on your first 5. And then, you might not get to 6 right away, but Stables Oasis is good off your Haggler the first time, and then you might get to 6, in which case you get Border Village and Stables, Border Village Cartographer, Border Village Embassy. So they'll be junking you. Yeah. But I think the engine can go past that, especially because Embassy draws the way it does. That's quite nice. And even with the engine, so for example, once you have everything running, your draw runs smooth, you can start getting IGGs yourself, and you could trash them out of your deck with your Spice Merchant. So I think it's well worth it to not buy IGG on your first 5, and to go for Haggler and see where the game goes from there. I mean, it is possible to just play with the Haggler and then go for IGG kind of things, right? So you could go Haggler and then, maybe you would get 6 on your Haggler hand and go gold Haggle IGG and then move on from there, or gold Haggle another Haggler and then go for IGGs, play a more money type game. But, we are engine freaks in Dominion for the most part, so we want to build the engine. So first 5 is going to be the Haggler for me. My opponent opens with the Oasis and a Silver. So no Spice Merchant for him. I don't really know why. Now he picks up a Spice Merchant. And I go for a second one here. I want to trash very quickly and get the engine going, because, okay, so him not going for Spice Merchant maybe signaled to me that he wanted to go for IGG, in which case I need to get my act together very quickly. I mean, he did buy Spice Merchant a little bit later after Silver, but it doesn't tell me that he wants to go for engine, right? You could still buy the Spice Merchant and go for IGG. And 5 here, no Haggler for him, which I was surprised by. I think either way you go in IGG or engine, you would want the Haggler first, and then you would see about stables and whatever. But stables for him, and I actually managed to connect with both these Spice Merchants and draw a bunch of money, so this is brilliant. I get up to Border Village here with just 1 silver in my deck. That's lucky. So Border Village, and I have my choice of 2 5s, right? And there are quite a few things to think about. Cartographer was on my mind. The second Haggler isn't crazy, but I want to get the draw going to try and stabilize, to maybe fight the IGG thing, also just to build an engine, right? So I get some draw. I get 1 stables. I know I have 2 Spice Merchants in my deck. They're going to be cleaning through the treasure quite quickly, but I only want the 1 stables for now, right? When I have more treasure, I'll put more. And I pick up an embassy for draw. So yeah, going to trigger the shuffle. Excellent to get all these cards out of it. And I'm gonna pick up a silver now. Trying to grease the wheels for these stables a little bit. Oh, I'm sorry. Did you say grease the wheels for these stables? There's no grease. There's nothing. There's just raw grinding. No cartilage between the bones. There's just rough draws here. So I understand the second Spice Merchant gets rid of a lot more treasure from my deck than my opponent's singular one. He has a Haggler now and it gets up to 6 here. Goes for Border Village and Stables. And yeah, another Haggler, which is fine, right? So I don't even know what to do here. I can't play Stables, I can't play Merchant. So either I play Embassy or Haggler and then I can't buy anything when I play the Haggler. I don't want to trigger the shuffle with the Embassy because then all the good cards are out of it. because I know what's on the other side of the shuffle. I bought a village and an oasis and some money. So I just do nothing, and here is where the tables turn. That was a horrific draw, absolutely horrific draw. And my opponent just starts to blaze forth from here. Another 6+ hand for them, bought a village and another stables. I'm going to continue trashing with the spice merchant, and unfortunately I don't find the border village. I would have really liked to, but I mean, it's not that likely that I find it. So I'm just a little bit tizzic from that turn. 4 action cards in hand. I can't do anything with any of them. I don't think that's ever happened to me in Dominion. I mean, at least one of them was Swindler. You could play the Swindler and attack your opponent, but I had Haggler. I couldn't do anything with Haggler, no money. Even with 1 copper, I could go, you know, Silver Duchess. Console myself. I couldn't do anything. It was awful. I pick up an IGG because apparently, you know, I don't have enough treasure, so let me buy some treasure. Also start to junk my opponent. But he has this hand. This is a great hand, and I think this hand just takes the game completely away from me, right? He gets up to 8 with both his Hagglers in play. That's tremendous, right? He gets a province and you could continue building. So border village, I guess a couple of border villages, and then off the border villages, an embassy and another stable. So I really think that was the turn for my opponent that just completely flipped the tables on me. I was way behind from the time he got that province and that double border village turn there. Yeah, that one shuffle just seemed to upset everything. I was ahead, like I thought buying the Haggler first was more important than the stables, and I had the border village before him. I mean, look, stables needs treasure to draw, right? You should make sure you have that balance, right? And that is something I don't know off the top of my head. If you have 3 stables, how much treasure do you want in your deck? How big should your deck be? That kind of thing. I don't know those numbers off the top of my head. I'm sure one of you knows. If you know, please tell me. So I know for future, because I made this mistake. But look, this time I'm cognizant of the fact that I have limited treasure, so I only put the 1 stables, right? Last game with the Fool's Gold and whatnot, I only had, like, there I ran out of treasures for sure. Here I was like, okay, I know I have only a few treasures, let me behave myself and just get the 1 stables for now. As I start to put more treasures in, I'll get more stables. Look, I had like 4 or 5 treasures, man. That wasn't terrible, I think, to pick up 1 stables on that turn, even with the 2 spice merchants. Alright, enough of that. Back to the game. So more building from my opponent, border village into another Haggler. So they have 3 Hagglers to my 1 right now, and the border village is to support it, and another embassy. So the embassy is giving me silver, which is, you know, good for the stables after that tragedy. That hand was an absolute nightmare. So here I am able to get a province, which is good, right? Maybe I have a chance now. Maybe I have a chance. Maybe I could stay in this with some good draws. But actually what my opponent is about to do is going to be a very proper play, and it'll set me back quite a deal. So he's able to play a bunch of his draw cards, more importantly his embassy. So he is probably going to find all 3 of his Hagglers. That's $6, and he probably, look, Oasis is 7 already, and he has another Oasis in deck just to find it. So he will have the $8 for the province. 3 gains is the more important thing. Presumably border villages, which will run out because he'll take all of them. He actually takes the plus buy and comes up with 14 and 2 buys. Tremendous. Tremendous turn here. So border village, and he's going to take, province into border village, and he's going to flood me with ill-gotten gains. So I guess this is an example of what I was saying, right? The engine can get up there and then come back for the ill-gotten gains later on. And the ill-gotten gains don't really hurt him. His stables draw, his spice merchant could trash through them. Yeah, and I mean, worst comes to worst, you use it as a silver, man, right? So yeah, I get flooded with 3 IGGs here, and I'm not sure what the 6 is. The 6 is gold. Yeah, into stables and a lot of IGGs. Yeah, so the province put 3 in my deck, and then the gold put 3 more in my deck or something. So I have a lot of curses now. I don't want to reshuffle ever. Just stop right here. And there's no way I could retaliate. I can't do that. I can't have an equivalent turn. No matter how hard I try. And actually, I wasn't paying attention here, and I triggered that shuffle, which is terrible. Tried to get through it, getting nowhere. Decided to stop for the province, although I could have trashed one more silver there to go a little bit further in the shuffle, but I wasn't paying attention. I was just on tilt, as the kids call it, from that hand. That has to rank as one of the worst hands I've drawn in Dominion, honestly. So bad. And I started to wonder, okay, maybe I should have picked up Cartographer instead. Maybe the embassy was premature. What could I have done differently? And my opponent and I talked a little bit after the game, and he seems to think the second Spice Merchant was unnecessary, and it caused that situation, an unfortunate situation. And I understand playing without the second Spice Merchant. It is definitely possible. But, yeah, I wanted to trash aggressively and get thin. And I suppose I paid for having the second Spice Merchant in my deck, so. Lesson to learn from my Hinterlands games. Stables needs draw. I mean, needs treasures to draw, so make sure you have lots of those before you buy stables. It seems like an obvious thing to say, but look at this fool on screen who doesn't have treasure to discard to his stables. Alright, I am going to resign after this turn. I play my embassy, it doesn't give me up to province. My deck is just an utter shambles after eating half the curses, and he just has to run the IGGs to win, right? So I'm pretty dead, especially after buying province, Haggler, another IGG. So I'm out. I ended up in the top 5 or 6 or something, which is good, but thanks for watching. See you.